Hello everyone, this is Kai here with another video for you guys. Today's video will be another origin content or another deck profile for you guys to watch. So deck of one for May. So today's feature will be based on Loki, a very popular demand from the community itself. So Loki is from the Valhalla cluster. So in this video I'll be talking about what's so good about Loki, why it's been overplayed in general, and other stuff in what makes a good combo with and so on. So let's get on with the video guys. So for those who are new to my channel or new to the game in general, Loki is from the Valhalla cluster, and a lot of my subscribers are from America, so majority of the time you will not know what this is. But for those who do know, Loki is a very popular ruler in Origin because it's just a strong control ruler in general. So let's discuss what's so good about it. Well, in FoWTCG itself, the game is a resource management game. So Loki provide one extra free resource for you to play as long as you can give up the cost. I'll pay the cost, shall I say, which is 400 life. So this is not paying for you guys to read what it does. So for J activation cost, it costs you 1000 life. To produce one darkness wheel, you can pay 400 life instead. So this darkness is very useful because it's not restricted to some certain cards. So example, a lot of cards now these days, when you get extra free wheels, you might be restricted to some certain cards. For example, Sacred Horn Beast was restricted to Sacred Beast, and so on. That's one example and so on. But this one is free. It can be colorless, it can be darkness cards or darkness wheel, so you can use it for anything you need in general. So, and also the judgment cost is 1000 life points, so which means keep all your magic stone open so you can use it later in the turn when you judgment, and then yeah, you get free judgment. Well, not technically a free judgment, but you're using life point to put your J rule on the battlefield, meaning that you always have resource open to play with during your turn if you're out of options. So let's flip over to the J rule side. So the J rule side is very weak, as you can see, 8-1, so pretty much 800 attack, 100 defense. You guys wondering, well, what's so good about Loki then? Well, it's not because the stat wise, it's because the utility wise this card offer. So let's read his ability. The first ability is a continuous effect. This card gains 100 defense for each card in your graveyard. So the longer the game goes, the stronger or the powerful the defense will get. So if you're able to prolong the game and judgment at the right time, this can be essentially a 8-10 or even an 8-11 or even higher. So what's most important is the enter ability. Look at the top 10 cards of your main deck, put one in your hand and put the rest back to the deck and shuffle it. So pretty much in a 40 card deck, and if you judgment this, 1/4 of your deck will be tutored out. So pretty much you can search for any key pieces you need, or combo pieces or control card you need, which is very helpful. And the last ability is also very powerful as well. Remove a resonator in your graveyard. This card deals 100 damage to each resonator. So 100 AoE damage just removing a card in your graveyard, or resonator in your graveyard should I say, is very powerful because your graveyard is be like whatever, right? You might as well use some free resource from your graveyard, making massive AoE damage. So it's pretty much a free Flame King shout if you're able to use it correctly at the right time. But remember, this does hurt your field at the same time because it's all resonated, not just your opponent. So be careful when you use it, but when you use it, you mostly use it against your opponent. So let's get on with the Magic Stone itself. So for the Magic Stone lineup, I play 4 green-black. It's very essential in this deck because you're playing black for the removal. That's why you play Loki, because Loki has a resource of black. So pretty much you don't always have to pay 400 when you get this stone. So I give you the option to use your kill spells or use your resurrection card and so on, whatever you need. And not only that, it's green as well, so give the good base control you need it as well. So it's very essential. So that's the reason why. And the rest of the Magic Stone, you can be at more Jewel Stone if you want to play. You can play these Jewel Stone even necessary need to, or you can play 6 basic green stone, which I will play in a Loki control deck because you don't want to lose to Split Heaven and Earth, because you're already paying a lot of life with Loki's first ability, which is pay 400 produce 1 black, and the judgment cost as well if you have some judgment. So you don't want to put yourself within range from burn spells such as Thunder, Flame Lance, Purifying Fire, Split Heaven and Earth. So you want to be very careful. So that's why I only play 4 special Magic Stone just to avoid Split Heaven and Earth. So let's get on with the main deck itself. So this is what everyone been waiting for, the main deck itself. I do recommend not to purchase this type of deck because it's very expensive in Origin. One of the most expensive cards out there, like Treasury Spells and so on. Like you want to be very careful because if you overspend and you can't play it, then you have a powerful deck that which you can't be used. So you want to be very careful if you want to actually invest into this type of deck. So yeah, let's get on with it. And sorry for the noise outside because yeah. Anyway, for the 1-drops, I play 4 Sprout of Treasury Tree, or known as Tree Sprout from my terms. What it does is that when it comes to play, discard a win attribute card from your hand, and when you do, produce 3 green wheels. So with Loki's ability, paying 400 to produce 1 black wheel, and then using green Tree Sprout wheel to produce 3 green wheels, you already essentially have 4 resources to play with on turn 1. So it does give you the option, and this ability is a May ability when it enters the play, so you don't have to trigger it if you don't want to. So yeah. And the second ability of this card, you can banish it, destroy a card in standby area, which is kind of irrelevant because unless you're facing a lot of standby deck such as Kaguya, you can use this to pop it. But other than that, it's mostly never been used that way. And this card cannot attack as well, which is kind of relevant as well because you will see why later in the deck. For the 2-drop, the most famous turn 1 play is also turn 1 Gretel, or even Magicsucker Beetles. With Loki's ability to produce 1 Darkness World, you can turn 1 Gretel, and when it gets back to your turn, you essentially already have 4 resources to play with. So let's look at this way: tap for stone for 1 Gretel turn 1, then back to your turn, you have 3 Magic Stone, but you also have Loki's ability, so you have 4 Magic Stone to play, or 4 resources to play with on turn 2. So which is very, very powerful, give you the upper advantage you need against your opponent. So that's one of the famous turn 1 play for Loki. Next, we have 4 Magicsucker Beetles. Magicsucker Beetle is mostly in here just to discard cards from your hand, to get a dead cards you don't need and redraw later in the game. Not only that, this is one of your main attacker, and one of your main attack as well, because you can, when you discard a card, you also get a benefit out of it when it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So when you attack directly and your person has no block or no block at all, you can discard your whole entire hand to +2/+2 for each card being discarded. For example, you discarded 3 +6/+6, so it becomes a 10/10. So really, really powerful. And not only that, it dodges like Flame King Shout as well, because you can just discard a card and make it a 2/2 +2/2, so it dodges out of it. Next, for the 3-drop, I play 4 Goats. 4 Goats is essential as well because what it does is that when it enters the play, you gain 800 life. So with the payment of Loki and getting rushed by rush deck or in burn spell in general, you need somehow to recover your life, and Goat is one of those ways. It's a 6/6, but however, if you don't control, you drizzle on the field or any field instead, it becomes a 3/3. So essentially it's a 3/3, but you mostly use it for the enter ability to gain 800 life to reuse Loki's ability once more to pay 400 more. So yeah. Not only that, you can banish this card to recover Rested Resonance. So for example, if your Beetle is rested, you can get offensive, defensive this. For example, your opponent attacks you directly, you can sacrifice it and recover this card and block it, or you can go a bit more offensive depending on the situation. So most of the time, you mostly use this for offensive play. I don't see a lot of defensive play with this card, but it's mostly offensive when you use it. Next, the 5-drops, which is the bottom of the deck, which is the 4 Kukunochi. 4 Kukunochi, what it does is that at the end phase draw, at the beginning of the end phase draw until you have 7 cards, so which filters your hand really quickly. So that's why you play Magicsucker Beetles, so you can discard cards you don't need, so you can draw better cards in the deck at the end of the turn. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons, and one of the most expensive cards out there as well in Origin, about $15 to $20. So yeah. Not only that, the reason why it's really, really powerful is because that it doesn't have some kind of restriction to it, like you must have a condition to mint that to put this on the field and so on. It has no condition like that. You just play it from cheating on the field or card casting it, but most of the time you always cheat on the field with this type of deck. And not only that, drawing 7 cards is pretty good, just saying at the end phase, so you get a fresh hand to play with, you get more cancel spell if you really need to, and more kill spell in general. And a lot of people say, why don't you play Sinbad? Because Sinbad and Kukunochi conflicts, because Kukunochi only trigger once at the beginning of end phase. So if you give up the draw power from Sinbad, you will not draw that same amount again. For example, I should draw 5 cards, but I use Sinbad 5 times, so you won't draw 5 cards. So it only triggers once, so you want to be very careful if you want to put Sinbad in this type of deck. You put Sinbad in this type of deck, then you will lose the opportunity to draw a lot of cards at the end phase, so be very, very careful. So yeah, lastly, the finish of the deck, 2 Fairies Stronghold. So what it does is that it's a very powerful resonator in general. It's a 7-drop resonator, 1018, so 1000 attack, 1800 defense. So when you cast this from your hand as a summon spell, this can't be countered or can't be chased by players with cost spells with 4 costs or below. So you cancel spells such as Xeex Ancient Magic or anything else is 4 below cannot cancel. So pretty much essentially you have to use one of the Valhalla cards, which is the 5 cost counter spells, but which is no one used at the moment. And also when it's on the field, this card cannot be targeted by spells or abilities with 4 costs or below, so meaning Chameleon is out of the question, Kiss of Death, Stony Death is out of the question as well. So all the kill spell you can think in general is out of the question, unless you play a Morrigan from Valhalla. That's the only way you can get rid of this type of card. Other than Morrigan, I don't see any other cards can get rid of it in battle or by card effect. So with a heavy cost powerful ability such as this, there's also a cost to it, which is at the beginning, I should say at the end of your recovery phase, pay 2 greens, 2 colors, if not put this back on the bottom of the deck. So pretty much during your recovery phase or the end of recovery phase, you have to pay upkeep costs, which is called paying costs for this guy to stay on the field, if not put back to the bottom. So pretty much when you put this on the field, you essentially try to finish them on this turn. And the last ability, which is what's this deck very powerful, is that Outer Resonator gains +1/+1 for each Resonator on your field. Yeah. So on your field, whatever Resonator you have, +1/+1. For example, a Gretel can essentially becomes a 10/10 or 12/12 depending how many Resonator you have on the field. Let's say for example you have at least 7 Resonator on the field. So all your Resonator on the field +7/+7. So pretty much bullseye attack in general, but yeah, very powerful. So again, majority of the time you always cheat it out with a spell. You don't really hardcast it, but if you do hardcast it, then I guess that's one way to finish the game off. But majority of the time you cheat it out. So that's all for the Resonator. Let's move on to the spells. So onto the kill spell, the most common kill spell you see in Origin is pretty much 4 Kiss of Death, pretty much 1 colors, 1 darkness, 1 colors, destroy a non-light Resonator. So which is pretty easy to kill because you don't always see a monocolor white deck in Origin, because it's always a double color deck you will see in Origin majority of the time, so no problem at all. For Order of the Dead, so this is pretty much your addition Resonator Resurrection card. So 1 cost, 1 colors, 1 darkness, 1 color, so what I'm saying. When you activate this card, or not activate, when this card resolves, choose a card in your graveyard which is a Resonator, attach it to it, and that Resonator gets -2/-2, and if this card leaves the field from the addition, the Resonator attached it to it dies as well. So if you somehow have a Bowman or even a Bows on the field, you can get rid of the addition, then your opponent cannot resurrect the powerful dude. Majority of the time you always resurrect the Kukunochi or the Stronghold for game, but yeah, that's the reason why it's in here. For the control spell, you play. I play 3 Xeex and 3 Force Drain. Xeex is pretty self-explanatory, just cancel any spells, and it protects your Kukunochi as well. Force Drain, pretty much they are Absolute Cake Zone, but I prefer you guys to use Absolute Cake Zone if you want to build this type of deck, because Absolute Cake Zone allows you to draw a card if you have Gretel in play. Force Drain, just a simple cancel normal spell. The reason I'm using Force Drain because I prefer the art, as you can see. I just prefer this type of art in general, so yeah. I heavily suggest you use Cake Zone over Force Drain, but I just want to use Force Drain. 4 cards left, so pretty much at this point, majority of the time you'll see the same skeleton from most Local Control deck. So the last 4 cards could be your tech choices. So one of my tech choices will be Black Sun. Black Sun is pretty much a 5 cost spell, 1 color, 2 darkness and 3 colors as a chant. So when you play it, send all Magic Stone from the Magic Stone area back to the bottom of the owner's deck. So if you have a full field and you play this, then your opponent essentially most likely lose, because if they can't stop this on their next turn, even if they do survive your finishing move, they got no plays after this, so they're really in a strong position. So you only play 1 off because you can shoot it out with Loki if you search on top of it. Other than that, I play 3 Hydromonicas. I have 2 more in my deck, I just can't be bothered getting them out. Hydromonicas in here because you can turn 1, search for any key pieces you need. If you're missing a Sprout, you're missing a Kukunochi, you're missing an Order of the Dead, you're missing a Kiss of Death, you're missing a Xeex, you're missing a Force String, you're missing whatever card you need, just put it on field and you can pay 400 life point and tap for 1 Magic Stone, sacrifice it, and search for a card and put it on top of the deck. So it's pretty much Vampiric Shooter for Magic the Gathering. So yeah, that's the deck, guys, so let's get on with the combo plays and so on. So one of the most common plays that Local Control deck is turn 1 Kukunochi. So in order to do that, you must have a Tree Sprout, a Kukunochi, and an Order of the Dead. If you have some luxury cards such as Gretel and Force Drain, that is your luxury card in this deck, in your opening hand, so depending going first or second, it really helps. So if you're going first, say you're going first, so you have tap for stone, so you have 1 Magic Stone open pretty much. So you tap it, take Tree Sprout, and Tree Sprout say discard a green source card or a green attribute card to the graveyard to produce 3 green wheels. So you have 3 green wheels at the moment, and use Loki's ability to pay 400, produce 1 dark, and then use this, use one of the green wheels to put it and activate and put it back on the field. Essentially, you're losing a total of 3 cards in hand, so pretty much you're down to 2 cards left, so meaning you have 2 left. If you have a Gretel in hand, you can play the Gretel and you do get another Magic Stone. It gives so much options, that's the thing, and at the end of the turn you draw until you have 7 cards. So pretty much if you're going first, if you resolve this type of play, you're pretty much in a strong position already. Your opponent cannot really rush you down because you have a free 13 on the field, because this -2/-2, unless they have a bow or a bowman can get rid of this, then you're always gaining advantage at the end of the turn, and by then, yeah, it's really hard for your opponent to get out of this situation. So this one of the combo, say for example you do not have one of your combo pieces, so say that you're missing like a Kukunochi, but you have the 2 other cards in hand, right? You're missing Kukunochi, so just leave it on the side. As long as you get a Hydromonica, which you can find over here, as long as you get Hydromonica in your hand or in your open hand, you can just search it out on next turn later. So play this, tap for Magic Stone, pass turn, your opponent plays something, end of the turn, pay 400 and sacrifice it, search for Kukunochi, put it on the top of the deck and draw it next turn, and then you have your free combo pieces. So it's really easy to get your pieces as long as you play Hydromonica. I don't see a lot of Loki Control that plays this, but I recommend Loki Control plays these, because I'd rather play these over Thunders, because I notice a lot of people play Thunders in Lokis, but I prefer this because the fact that you can simply search up whatever cards you need to leave on top of the deck. If you need a finisher, you can search for a Stronghold. If you need a cancel spell, you search for Force Drain. If you need a goat to gain more life, you search for the goat. You need some kind of discard for that, search for this. Like it gives you options, like who does triggering in a deck like this, like that draws you a bajillion cards anyway. So yeah, that's one of the main combos. The other combo is that you turn 1 Gretel. So this is one of the famous plays for Loki Control players. So you turn 1 Gretel, you tap for Magic Stone, and then pay 400, put it on the field, and get another Magic Stone. So if you're going first and your opponent taps a Magic Stone and back to your turn, you essentially have 3 Magic Stone to play with and ability with Loki. So you have totally 4 resources to play with, so meaning that your opponent really will struggle if they can't do anything. So it's really powerful, one of the most powerful play in Loki in general, because you have the option to turn 1 Gretel, you have the option to turn 1 Kukunochi. Not only that, you have the ability to tutor for any cards you need with Hydromonica, and you can play Kill Spell because Kiss of Death is 1 black and 1 color, so you can turn 1 pass, and if you're playing turn 1 Kukunochi, you can Kiss of Death if you really need to. So yeah, it's really one of the most powerful decks in Origin, but this deck does lose to Machina OTK because Machina is very powerful in Origin. I know it's terrible in New Frontier at the moment, but in Origin, Machina OTK is a tier 1 deck and also can beat this deck really easily because they can't find a lot of ways to get rid of Wyver turn 1 or Jonah Arc +10 and turn 2. It's very hard. That's why, and turn 1 Wyver, turn 2 Wyver again, that's really hard. So yeah, that's the deck, guys. So thank you for watching, thank you for listening, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys next time. So again, for more Origin content, keep demanding, guys. The more demands I get, the more Origin content I will put up. So thank you for watching, thank you for this, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys next time. Peace.